there, and this is just going to be Proxy Reaper. This will not be Proxy 2 Rax Marauder. This will not be something super funky, but you can see that Disc is already looking around. He knows how dangerous of a player someone like MaSa is.
Yeah, and oh man, what a story of what if, right? Because MaSa, he dominated in Canada. You're absolutely correct. His Reapers are going to show up in the main base here, and well, the Stalker's just not ready. MaSa, or Disc spends a chrono on it, but again, the Reaper will find some value. And in general, the Pro Micro is actually working out pretty nicely here. And actually, this Reaper's going to go down. MaSa overstays his welcome, Steadfast.
That he does. He will complete this bunker at the natural. Yeah, MaSa, he doesn't play full-time. He does not play full-time, so, you know, the little mistakes are forgivable. Did he build a Marine? Oh, he's going to pop it into the bunker. That is really funny right here. Is he going to... Yeah, he's building more Marines. He's staying on one base. He is doing a proxy factory. Okay. I think this is going to be proxy tank.
Steadfast, do you want to say it, or shall I?
Go. Like, I know what you're going to say, but go for it.
Who the hell proxies a tank?
MaSa, I mean, he has always been a dangerous wild card, and this is exactly what we're seeing once again. And I love this little mine in the middle, trying to block the scout, trying to act as a bait. Doesn't get the unit he wants, but will still distract his opponent. Now, Disc, he is going 4-gate blink. This is probably the best case scenario in terms of build order.
Yeah, he scouts the tank moving out as well. So now the Stalkers, they're going to run home. They're going to try to delay this as much as possible to get the Widow Mine. Really important there. It means the Stalkers, they can blink on top of these tanks eventually. You don't have something that is going to sit there and make sure you take a lot of damage. But there are 3 tanks, and it's 4 tanks, 3 on this side of the map against 5 Stalkers. There is a Warp Prism. And it really is it feels like it's down to this first push if Disc decides to commit.
Yes.
You lose the tank or you lose the Stalkers, you're dead. If you get 4 or 5 tanks sieged up outside of Disc's natural, life is going to become very complicated. He does have the ability to flank it from multiple angles, send his Warp Prism and put Stalkers on the left side and the front. But even with that happening, I mean, there are already so many tanks here. And it's not a 4-gate blink anymore, it's 3-gate. The production is starting to get camped.
Yeah, he loses that gateway. He uses battery overcharge to no effect. And Blink does complete. Oh, he's going to blink forward in on top of the tanks, but there's a lot behind this. MaSa going to get some massive shots. He will lose a couple of these tanks, but his bunker is going to finish. There is very little on the field here for Disc. He starts up an Immortal. He did lose, well, he will lose this Nexus. This is looking so effective from MaSa. He is an evil genius, and he's doing some great work. But on the other side of the map, here comes 3 Adepts in the main base. MaSa's on top of it, though, with a Siege tank and a quick pull of SCVs.
Yeah, I guess the downside, right, is tanks don't really kill... Tanks sieged kill Adepts very well, but they don't really chase Adepts down super well here. So this is going to be annoying. There's no way to deal with the Warp Prism at all. But look at this. MaSa, he's pulling back into his memory bank. He knows, he remembers what happened in the Drogo series. He's building a missile turret. These DTs will not break him at the front. The Immortal is showing us, well, it was supposed to show us why you don't go back against Protoss, but instead, the Immortal goes down. There are so many tanks here. And at this point, okay, there are DTs on the other side that will kill this tank. At this point, MaSa's just going to pull the SCVs, and yes, this is obnoxious. MaSa cannot mine anymore. But I don't see a world where Disc breaks this. There are so many tanks. We have bunkers. We have a Marine for a SimCity. More missile turrets going forward. So he's just going to abandon the position. We got a base trade. I love this so much, Steadfast.
It's such a smart decision from Disc, and he gets out early with a ton of probes. This is so smart in this scenario. He knows that he cannot really break the position, and he will continue to wreck the, infrastructure of MaSa. Funnily enough, MaSa is actually mining with a couple of SCVs right now. But this is the full-on Clown Fiesta. Disc has enough money to rebuild a Nexus. MaSa does need to move his command center. He will do so now, but he has been late to do so. I think he needs to build on... Oh, man, actually, this is really complicated. Because he doesn't have any detection, MaSa, that is. Not mobile detection, at least. He will kill this Dark Shrine, obviously. Disc, I would love to see him build like a robotics facility or something with his cybernetics core, with his money, build some tech on the map before you lose that cyber core.
Yeah, MaSa does not have enough money. Yeah, no, okay, he only has one bunker remaining. So he's going to get this command center onto the other side. The Stalker will not chase it down. The one thing I was worried about was like the command center getting kind of burning or something, and MaSa not having enough. But even with the bunkers all getting salvaged, he does not really have enough money to build another command center here, which is fine. It's going to find its way onto the other side, and MaSa, it seems like he's going to take... Okay, this is... I thought he was going to maybe try to remine, but instead he's just going to go try to kill his opponent. He's going to get the command center down. There are going to be 4 scans in that, and then there are just not enough DTs here. So command center, oh, it's going to land at the perfect time. These DTs, they have to run. They cannot take this fight.
No, they cannot, and we are going to see the scan coming on down. A nice hot pickup there from Disc, and he blinks this Stalker back, but with the command center having a full complement of energy, there's still 3 more scans. Shield batteries are going to fall. Disc, it was a brilliant decision. He's going to play Nomad Protoss, but it might be more of a you mad Protoss, because this is not a comfy situation for him at all. Scan is going to come down. Oh, he manages to keep the DTs alive. Okay, those DTs were his only lifeline in this game.
And hold on, like the win condition here for Disc is
now he loses one.
Okay, but he thought that the scan was going to time out, right? The command center's up on the map. Disc was not ready for it.
Oh,
that's another. There are 2 scans. Well, 1.5 scans. But he's mining again. Now, we don't have an eBay, right? It's just these missile turrets. But if you can mine...
He knows.
Immediate immediate eBay going down. It's the most important thing.
It absolutely is. Disc needs to force out these scans. So, like now, but he can't. And even the missile turret will provide a little bit of detection in the mineral line. That's so much damage on the War Prism. Disc has rebuilt the Nexus. It is mining. And MaSa, well, he knows where it is. He checked on it. He is making all the right moves in all the right places. Disc rebuilding 3 gateways here, which is great. But he's going to be forced to stop mining again. 7 probes go down. He's got another base coming up on the top side. And MaSa, with this missile turret coming up now, he is going to be secured in his mining. He needs to build depot. He needs to get back up and running in terms of actual production. But he has certainly done everything he needs to do. And if this DT goes down, it's game over.
Oh, man, Disc saw the turret move. He's like, okay, the tank sees this. It's about to shoot. We got to pick up and go away. We're going to see MaSa slow push missile turrets into this base, aren't we? Like, we're going to see him slow push missile turrets across the map, which I don't know that is necessarily the best play. You feel like from a tech perspective, like he can just kind of take this game normal, but if you want to end the game right now, it seems pretty solid.
Yeah, I think it's a great decision. Build a missile turret on the low ground, and all of a sudden then your tanks are actually in position to siege the Nexus. And at this point, oh, we got a couple of adepts on the right side. Those are the ones from earlier. Probes are going to get pulled away. MaSa will find a couple more probes on this base, and that nearly evens the worker count. MaSa has made some great decisions in this situation. The DT is going to go down. Oh, there's no way to rebuild DTs. That's it for the Dark Templar. There are still 4 siege tanks on the field. No cybernetics core. Oh, no, there is a cybernetics core. He's rebuilt it. Okay, so he actually can make tech units. However, he doesn't have any gas mining. Disc, that is.
Wait, did a Hellion just kill? Yeah, okay, that's so. One of the things, I saw this happen. It's like, okay, you know, Hellions, MaSa's building whatever he can. He doesn't have a lot of money right now. He built a couple Hellions, and he just got 10 probes in Disc's base. So suddenly, you talk about equalizing the worker count. Disc is on, well, he was on like 12 probes for a second. His economy already shattered is even worse. And these random units that MaSa can make at this point, they are so impactful because it's Stalkers are great steadfast, but when you have this number of tanks, when you have such a solid defensive alignment, life becomes very, very difficult. It's so hard for Disc to push into, and he continues to add missile turrets, but it appears that in this case, oh, MaSa, I love you. I love you so much.
He is God. I miss MaSa plays. I miss MaSa games so much more than I can say. And this has brought me back in time. This is beautiful. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. Disc just now starting to get some gas mining back up and running, whereas MaSa, he is now up to a pretty solid economic setup himself. He's about to be on 2 command centers, 3rd one on the back of the gold base.
Yeah, Steadfast, I love this. This is your most standard game. It's 4-gate Blink against a 2-base Terran. He's got a lot of tanks, so it's going to be hard for the 4-gate to work out. But, you know, MaSa is 4 gates.
Oh my god. Look at the gas mining on the simulator on the left side. It's going around the missile turret, around the tank. That has got a long route.
That's a bit of a roundabout. You're a Terran. You don't need gas anyways. What are we talking about here? Oh, look at this, though. So Warp Prism on the right side. Again, it's been damaged. And I thought we were going to see the Stalkers maybe try to poke it on the left side, but instead Disc kind of backs up a little bit. He sees the SimCity here. The most he can do. The most he can do is show up on the high ground, but at this point, MaSa, he's got 2 factories. He doesn't really need both of them. He's not really... Well, as I say that, he gets a tech lab on the high ground, so he can build out of this thing if he wants to, but importantly, he's got vision on the high ground. We're not going to see those Stalkers do that obnoxious thing once again. And the Mule Hammer continues. I mean, if we look at the income graph here, MaSa, over the last minute or so, minute and a half, he has really started to peak economically.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He knows he's in a better economic spot than his opponent. He has been actively scouting very aggressively. Disc doing a good job with these Stalkers, forces a cancel on the barracks, because MaSa doesn't have a lot of territory that he controls solidly, and that's the one advantage Disc has, is the mobility. But MaSa, he knows that he doesn't need to do anything overly aggressive, because his opponent, and he sees it, just now set up this second base for himself. And Disc, I mean, he's done a very nice job from a really tough position, but I still favor MaSa's position so much in this scenario. And MaSa very soon is going to be on Stim and a bunch of barracks production, whereas, I mean, what does Disc have going for him? He's got Charge done, he's got Blink. Neither player has upgrades, because we got to Proxy tank scenario well before that could have happened. This game is incredible.
Steadfast, you don't get upgrades. Like, that's not allowed as the Zealots. Ooh, get on top of the tank. And you don't want to lose this. It's destined. It seems almost destined to die. There we go. Will fall. Zealots take some damage. But that's also a pretty solid scout, right? For MaSa, he knows that his opponent has charge now. That will impact how he wants to play the game. Stimming on top of things becomes a little bit more problematic. Now Zealots get on top of this. One tank goes down, but that's so many Zealots in the clutch as well. Disc, I mean, I like the idea. You know the army's on the right side, but he's not able to punch through just yet. We don't have any medevacs here, Steadfast. Every time this bio stims, there's no combat shields, there's no medevacs. They lose so much of their health. Oh, that force field.
That is a great force field, but there is not enough Zealots to actually really take advantage of it. The Stalkers do get some good value, and the Zealots on the left side do find 13 SCVs. MaSa, is he going to be able to hold? The answer is yes. The War Prism tries to drop in from the back, won't be able to escape the missile turret, and the bunker, the few bio units popping out for MaSa are going to be enough to deal with this. That looked so good for Disc, but I think MaSa was just too far ahead, and now this gold base... Now this is going to make Disc, well, I mean, Disc doesn't even know about it, but it is going to make it so comfortable for MaSa to just chill and just wait for Disc and let him come to him.
Yeah, I mean, the supplies here are really starting to tell a horrifying tale. It's 37 army supply to 6. Disc, you know, he has 2 bases. But this one is, actually, I really thought this was going to be closer to mining out, but even still, he's got, you know, 2 base minerals, 1 base gas. MaSa has that gold. He's had it for a while. He's going to be able to resaturate. You talked about that other base. He's got 4 gas. He can start to build more. He's finally adding medevacs, so Stim doesn't immediately kill his entire army. And it does seem like Disc's adding a Dark Shrine again. Given how many missile turrets there are on the map, I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's been a super nomadic game. Oh, we just saw Disc's vision. It crossed over this gold base. He sees the minerals have been mined out. He's going to start his own Nexus on the other side. Oh. Let's go, full NA.
I love this. Now, okay, so he's sending a couple Zealots on the other side. This will eventually get dealt with, but Steadfast, this has paid for itself. It has paid for itself so much. Now, if you're a Terran, you wish you could recall. You can't do that thing. But even still.
MaSa, well, okay, here's a DT. There's no scan in the back. Okay, there we go. He does drop it now. DT did get a couple of units. Force fields on the ramp are going to be good. MaSa, with a hot pickup, does save these units and will drop them in behind. Disc, I mean, he's fought such a solid delaying action. He's done everything he could, but I don't know if he can hold on any further. Now, if there's no scan, this could be a real problem for MaSa, and it seems like there might not be. Another big scan. There we go. Finally clears the DTs, keeps the tank alive in the back. Disc pops the Guardian Shield. He's microing so nicely, and MaSa really having to stim a lot. There's no energy on the medevacs. This is actually going to be the Stalkers doing way better than expected, but the army supplies really do tell the tale. Disc had to give up this base. He does have this gold base that he can now mine from, but MaSa has already had his way with it.
Yeah, you said fast. It's a 4-base Terran at 20 minutes. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, this was handled so well from Disc. The problem really is that MaSa mined out of his gold for forever. He got it. He almost mined out some of the mineral patches. He got so much money out of that one, and now the tanks are starting to fall, yes, but the Widowmine shots are good. And I can't help but wonder what would have happened if MaSa had just gotten combat shields. You know, that would have been an extra 20% HP on that army. I think it goes so much better for MaSa. And by the way, he's aware that Disc is giving this position up. He sees the so many. This is the game that never ends. You know, something. Tell your friends.
I mean, it might be the game that never ends, but MaSa has taken firm control of it at this point, even though there's a gold base mining for Disc. And MaSa, he's taken his licks. Disc is not going to be able to deal with this army in the long term. MaSa does have this base on the bottom side that is going to be a planetary very shortly. He can mule hammer that. He can send SCVs over. Disc is going to lose more and more production. Now, he is rebuilding it, and I really, really got to say, I'm so impressed that Disc has made any fight of this game at all. But MaSa, I mean, the supplies really do tell the tale, and there is that combat shields finally coming on in. MaSa can just finish off this base in the top side, and he would kill the Dark Shrine as well, but looks like he's focused a little bit more on keeping his own economy alive, or just kind of letting things go the way they will. Regardless, this is a magnificent game. Oh, SCVs are going down. Okay, looks like it was a DT in this base. Yeah, MaSa, I mean, he's going to close this one out, almost for sure, but what a game.
Disc has lost about 10,000 more resources than his opponent here. So, okay, closer to 7. But it's resources lost, that's a problem. And it's the economy, that's a problem here. And at this point, I've been making the jokes, but this Terran army looks like a Terran army that we would expect to see in a normal game of Starcraft. The Zealots get really good surface area, though. SCV's pulled on the left side, dealing with a couple Zealots. And finally, he's going to proxy a second factory. Okay, okay.
Go!
What question, though, as we look at this game, is it tanks? Is that what we're going to see once again? There's not a ramp in the natural that you can look to abuse, but there wasn't a ramp on map 1 either. But he's going to have like 6 to 8 Marines on top of this thing, and that maybe, I'm not sure how I feel about it in terms of whether it has more or less punch, but it's a slightly different look. And already the SCV is going across here as well, and a depth shades in, but it just takes some damage from the tank, although tank needs to, there we go. Tank does make the rally happen, and this, okay, so Widowmine takes some damage here. The tank sieges up a little bit further back. Disc is doing a really good job of buying time, and more importantly, he's buying space.
Ooh. He is, but unfortunately for him, he built 2 shield batteries very far forward, lost one, canceled one, lost the other, and that is really far from optimal. He will get this Widowmine, which is actually a really nice pick off there. Bunker is not yet complete. MaSa's got to be careful with the Marines. Battery overcharge is making these Stalkers able to fight through the tanks. However, you can't fight through this many tanks. That's actually a lot of damage coming on in. Now the missile turret completes. The DTs are not going to get the job done. Disc is going to lose this pylon, which means the 2 shield batteries will depower. And MaSa's doing it again.
There's no counterattack. Like game 1, MaSa won because he got a depths, and then I think eventually DTs and stalkers and things into MaSa's main. He forced it into a base trade. He said, "This is okay. We're gonna take this game super late." This time, there is no escaping this. There are so many siege tanks here, and DT runs forward, and you know, will delay this missile turret, but there's a scan there. It's a dead DT, and now tanks are into the natural. They're not even bothering to siege steadfast. They say, come on, tank me, take this fight. But there is no fight that Disc will be able to take in this game. This natural, this Nexus is dead. Disc, luckily, will not get supply blocked, and I love how safe MaSa is playing here. He's got a missile turret on the other side. He's got a tank. He's keeping it at home. He says, you do not get to do to me in game 2 what you did in game 1. This game does not go 23 minutes. I'm going to end it right now.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to leapfrog the missile turrets in this situation, because if you can get a missile turret right here, on this little like square beside the mineral patches, that's going to let you threaten the main nexus and completely breach the main ramp. This is feeling like the noose is tightening here on poor Disc. Charge is going to complete, though. And that actually, hang on, Charge is going to be so good against this.
I didn't think the Zealots were going to be able to get down the ramp. I assumed MaSa was going to plug it, but no, the Zealots, they get on top of every single tank. And yeah, suddenly this natural contained is not, it's not contained anymore. There are a couple tanks back here, but it's only the one. So Disc breaks out. He gets 4 tanks. MaSa is going to have to go home. MaSa, that factory cannot be there, MaSa. That's not allowed. That's unacceptable.
Disc, of course, does see it, but he says, no, I've killed enough of your army that I can now counterattack. MaSa, though, will be able to limp these 2 tanks home. They are very slow relative to the charge lots, but when you get a head start like this, it is going to be enough. Now, we will... Oh, okay, I was going to say, as long as he lifts the depot, it'll be fine. We will still see this being fine as long as he repairs. Disc... Oh, no, the Zealots! Oh, they just ran right in. That's 3 tanks. Oh, that's 5 Zealots that he's going to lose right here. And that is because he was paying attention to the Widowmine on the other side of the map. Widowmine will get denied, but losing all those Zealots like that in a game like this is not what you need. Advantage is stim, combat shields, and the infrastructure.
Although,
stim and +1.
Like, you would expect combat shields to be done. There are plenty of tac labs on those barracks. Stim's been done for a while. MaSa just seems to not like combat shields. We saw that happen in game 1. Oh, no, Disc. Oh, well, you know, benefit, it's not like there are a ton of probes there, but it's still 6 probes going down and into the natural.
Oh,
no. Oh, man, just when he'd like, I'm not going to say Disc was not in a good spot. Like, but at least he'd had the semblance of having an economy. He had 3 Nexi. You're like, okay, maybe he's going to be able to bring himself back into that. But just when you bring yourself economically back into a game, losing 11 SC or 11 Pro Steadfast, that's not really a recipe for success.
Its Storm is something that you can potentially get some work done, but the Widowmine drop again finds so many probes. He unburrows 2 of them, reburrows the other one. Will get a little too greedy. Probably should have just taken the last probe he could get, but still 8 more probes going down. MaSa is about to be on... Oh, he actually canceled +1 armor to get +2 ground infantry weapons instead. But MaSa's about to be on stim, combat shields, +1, no concussive shells. But the number of Marines he has is going to be staggering. Now, the one thing I will say is he is not building any Marauders. And High Templar with Storm can rock Marines.
Yeah, that we saw this happen yesterday in the Vindicta Patty Max series where you're like, there's a Terran army. There are a lot of Marines there. And then you blink and there's no longer a Terran army. There's no longer a lot of Marines. And he's pulling SCVs into Storm. And is this a good situation for Disc? Still absolutely not. He's literally down double the army supply as the Widowmine drop continues to deny mine and continues to find value here. But if there was ever an army to beat this really horrible situation that you find yourself in, it is 3 Storms. Like, that is kind of the one shot. So they're in the Warp Prism. Steadfast, let's see what they can get done.
Oh, that's a good Storm to start off, but the 3 Storms together, they are not enough. Archons, can they win the day? The Widowmines have all fired their shots. It's about the best fight Disc could have asked for, but there's still siege tanks. There's still +1. There's about to be +2. The Marines are they're struggling a little bit against the Archons, and now the Zealots will get in on top of the tanks, but Disc does not have the numbers. He simply cannot deal with what...